It's connecting now.
Thank you.
Okay, we're all set.
All right, and we are recording. Good morning. I am Daryl Eatman, Chief Examiner and the host of today's Civil Service meeting. Leanne Guzman, Executive Assistant to the Director, is our co-host. Please be aware if you are disconnected during the meeting, please click on your email or calendar invite to rejoin the meeting. Please keep yourself on mute until you are called upon. If you are using a phone, use *6 to mute or unmute yourself. Once the Civil Service Commission has addressed your agenda item, you may leave the meeting. We have a quorum of our commission members. At this time, I give the meeting to Michael Flickinger.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Civil Service Commission meeting for March 28, 2025. The first item on the agenda is the roll call, and commission members, India Pierce Lee. India, are you present?
Present.
Good. We needed a quorum, so I wanted to make certain. Also, Cyrus L. Patton.
Present.
And my name is Michael Flickinger, and Gregory Jordan is not present at today's meeting. We have counsel, Patricia Aston.
Present.
The Office of the Civil Service Commission staff, Rachon. Leanne Guzman.
Present.
Daryl Eatman.
Present.
Lila Abrams Fitzpatrick. Anthony Hinton.
Present.
We have the court reporter.
Present. This is Sarah Spence with Vincent Mancini.
Thank you, Sarah. Agenda guest. We have Jeffrey Walter, Sergeant Division of Police.
He will not be here today.
And we have William Mashevsky, Acting Lieutenant, Division of Police.
I am present.
Matthew Bryan.
Present.
Anthony Brown.
Present.
And Joy Anderson.
Present.
Is there anyone else that's on the call that I missed or did not read out? The second item on our agenda for today is accepting of today's agenda. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve, Patton.
Secondly.
All those in favor?
Lee, aye.
Patton, aye.
Flickinger, aye. Agenda item number 2 is approved. Agenda item number 3, approval of the minutes from the March 14th, 2025 Civil Service Commission meeting.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve, Patton.
Secondly.
All those in favor?
Lee, aye.
Patton, aye.
Flickinger, aye. Agenda item number 3 is approved. Agenda item number 4, approval of the routine matters.
Motion to approve, Lee.
Second, Patton.
All those in favor?
Lee, aye.
Patton, aye.
Flickinger, aye. Agenda item number 4 is approved. Agenda item number 5, consideration of the request from Matthew Bryan to be reinstated to the Department of Public Safety Division of Police as a patrol officer. I believe we have Matthew Bryan here, and is there a representative from the police or the city?
Acting Lieutenant Sergeant Mashesky, I'm here. The city or the Division of Police action to his reinstatement.
Is there a motion?
Motion to approve, Patton.
Second, Lee.
All those in favor?
Lee, aye.
Patton, aye.
Flickinger, aye. Agenda item number 5 is approved. And does the commission staff have any information to provide Matthew Bryan?
Yes, Mr. Bryan, we will be in contact with you and you can reach out to the Division of Police and they will coordinate your return.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Agenda and Mr. Bryan, I believe since this was your item, you are more than welcome to leave the meeting if you would like.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 6, consideration of the request to amend the job classification telecommunications specialist. Is there someone that would like to speak to this request?
Good morning, commission members. This is Leanne Guzman. I can speak to this item. So the request comes as a request to update the duties and minimum qualifications for this job in an attempt to modernize it more towards what the actual duties and minimum qualifications are for the job.
Motion to
Motion to approve. Second,
Second.
Patton.
All those in favor?
Lee, aye.
Patton, aye.
Flickinger, aye. Agenda item number 6 is approved.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 7, consideration of the request from Anthony Brown to appeal the termination of employment from the Department of Community Development. Mr. Brown, are you present and ready to speak to this request?
Present.
And is there a representative of the city that can speak to this request?
Yes, President Joy Anderson.
And in matters or requests like this, we usually allow 10 minutes to each side. Mr. Brown, if you would like to provide information related to your request to appeal the termination. You have a total of 10 minutes, up to 10 minutes.
Okay. I was terminated on March the 7th of this year. I began employment on January the 14th. On the termination letter, it says at January 20th, budget and program assistance training session, but that was Martin Luther King Day. And we even had the 20th, the 21st, and the 22nd off because of cold weather. And on, let's see here. On the evaluation, it says there was a delay in Anthony receiving permissions to work in the city to manage financial systems, so his ability to complete transactions on his own has been limited. And everything was limited. Everything was slow. I didn't get credentials for Advantage until about, I think it was late February. And I kept trying to get some understanding of it. Deborah, the accounting manager, was supposed to be training me, but every time Joy asked her to, she had an excuse. I don't know if Joy knew that or not. And that meeting that we were supposed to have on where it says meeting with the accounting manager, that didn't happen on January 27th because Deborah canceled. So a lot of these meetings didn't even happen and they were canceled. And on March 7th, when I was terminated, I had completed about 8 journal entries that were approved by Deborah and FRC. And that was the same day I got terminated. And the reason I sent an email to Joy and copied her, let's see, AD Whackers on it. And then she said, oh, you didn't have to do that. I was going to tell Deborah to do the assignment. But Deborah, every time she told her, Deborah said, well, I'm busy right now, or I'm in a meeting, I'll get back to you. And she didn't get back to me until about March the 5th. And I was terminated on March the 7th. And all those journal entries were correct. They're very easy. And let's see. It said on the evaluation, at the time of his performance evaluation on February the 14th, Anthony hasn't been in the position for 18 days. He's not yet expected to work independently on budget. And I was just trying to push a little so I could, get acclimated, but Joy kept slowing everything down. I only worked there for 35 days total, which is really not long enough to get a grasp of everything. Especially, they had me looking at 2.5-hour videos every day on ELOCs, draws, and I took about 10 tests. And then they ask questions at you get a certificate, and they're still in that. They were in the file cabinet, and there were some things that went on. She didn't like the fact that I said training was at half an hour with Leslie Camargo, and I even sent Leslie an email saying you did an excellent job. What my concern was, she didn't go in depth about the troubleshooting. The journal entries are fine, cash revenue, and then expenses, and then cash going out of the department. But, she didn't show us all the nuances. So Joy said I was complaining, but I wasn't complaining. I was just pointing it out. And it just seemed to go down from there after I emailed and copied her AD Whackers, because the only reason I copied him was because because Deborah wasn't showing me anything. And Joy kept telling her, she said, I told her. And then I said, well, I'll just, let everybody know that Joy is not doing anything. She's not, not Joy. The other girl, Deborah, she's not doing anything. And she wasn't doing what Joy was telling her to do. So I just wanted to make people aware of that. And I guess it took them off guard the wrong way. And the reason I wanted to get this done by the deadline was 3/7. And we got them in at 3/7. And the next thing you know it, Joy is coming around to my desk saying, come to her office. And then she said, oh, I didn't mean my office. I meant this office over here. And then they terminated me. I think the director of human resources was in there with, no warning after 35 days. And she's saying, take your time. And I already, got a grasp of everything, but I didn't get credentials for a month. And everything was just so unorganized back there because, they had me working with residential improvement. And, you know, I had to go to those meetings and look at all those videos, but it just she never seemed to come around and check and see how you're doing. She'd always go to Sandy. I know they had to get draws out because a lot of the reimbursement requests from the health department, they spend it out of the general fund, and they were supposed to spend it out of the block grant. And since they didn't spend it out of the block grant, now they have to go and readjust and, you know, put that money back into the general fund. So a lot of things were going late. So I know she was busy with Sandy trying to get those draws done because, you know, there's so many years that are behind and you don't want to send money back. But I don't think there was any reason to terminate me because I did the job. And it just seemed like as soon as I got there, she was telling me that Frank Badalamenti's son worked there. I used to work for him. And it seemed like she just kept saying that in effort to cause confusion or something to go on. And then when I went down for training with him for advantage training, it was a whole group of people and they were all experienced, been there for 7, 10, 15 years. And they took up all the time, so I didn't get that training. And all of a sudden, now Frank's son doesn't like me, so he's shooting me bad emails, copying Leslie Camargo. So I can see it building up. You know, they're trying to start a consortium against me and team up on me for no reason at all, none at all. Just because I worked with Adam's father. You know, that was the very first thing she told me when we went to him my first day. Oh, Adam is here. So I didn't even know him. And then, you know, it just went down from there. It seemed like she was trying to turn everybody against me for no reason else, ignoring me, everything like that. So I just said, I want to tell my side of the story. And that's what happened.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. We are at about 9 minutes, so I want to leave you a little extra time if you would like to respond or any other items.
Yeah, I have several emails here where
if we can go to Ms. Anderson, and if you can respond, and then Mr. Brown, you'll still have over a minute of additional time or extra time if there are any questions from the commission. But Ms. Anderson, if you can respond, or if there's someone else from the city that would like to speak.
Yes, I can respond. Good morning to the commission. Is my audio?
And you will also have 10 minutes, so thank you.
Is my audio all right?
Everything's good.
Mr. Brown is correct. He joined our department on January 14th at a time when we were extremely busy meeting timeliness deadlines for our federal grants program. He also joined our budget section, which is in a elevated position. It's an advanced position in our department. And it is responsible for working very closely with the Department of Finance and with other departments in providing information and financial records to support federal grant making. When Mr. Brown joined the department, we explained to him that we will be providing training to him through peer support. This department does not have dedicated trainers. We also advised him that he would be working in multiple grant systems and that he would begin with Advantage, which is the city's financial system. the city has mandatory training that is provided by the Department of Finance. Mr. Brown mentioned that his trainer was Mr. Badalamenti. I am not sure I understand the references he's making to comments about Mr. Badalamenti or his father. I never talked to Mr. Brown about the trainer for Advantage. So I would appreciate if you could clarify for that for the commission in his response. Our primary concern with Mr. Brown was the fact that he was very dissatisfied with the training as we had outlined it for him. Again, it was peer support. It was very evident to us by the time we decided to terminate that he would require more intensive training than we as a department can provide. He was being trained by the manager of our accounting section, who had her own portfolio work to do, again, at a time when our department was extremely busy, and also peers on her staff who had their own responsibilities. We also arranged for him to have one-on-one instruction with a member of the finance team, and that's Leslie Camargo, who we referenced as well. And after receiving that training, at our request, short-term notice, again, asking her to fit him into her daily schedule, he said that he was dissatisfied with that training, that it was ineffective. He did not appreciate that Ms. Camargo was showing him shortcuts to do his work faster and more efficiently. He would have preferred to be trained in a different way, more of a comprehensive training from the beginning as opposed to shortcuts. He specifically stated that in addition to his dissatisfaction with training and trainers, he was also not following office protocols, not following chain of command. And these are things that we were not expecting and cannot tolerate from someone with over 25 years experience in professional work environments, including past employment with the city's finance department.
Do you have any other items?
No, that is the end of my statement unless there are questions from you or your commission.
What I would ask is, are there questions from the commission?
I do have a question. The budget analyst position, this is a role that requires a degree of independence. What is the position? I guess, what are the positions below and above it? Like, is there an entry level position to your department that would require the kind of training that was expected from Mr. Brown? Or is everybody that comes into your department supposed to come in with that background expertise and be able to do this on the fly from the beginning?
The only comparable position would be in finance, in the accounting section, and that would be a financial analyst. That is an entry-level position, which, again, all of our positions have a peer support training. Mr. Brown was in the budget analyst position. That is an elevated advanced position. Financial analyst is more internal in their work. Budget analyst is a position requiring frequent and independent dialogue with other departments. So again, financial analyst will probably be more of an introductory position.
And that
Comparable in the
financial
sense
analyst,
that they both work in the Advantage system daily. Budget analyst also works in a federal database system, and both also work in a internal system that we call Power Apps. Mr. Brown, in his tenure, had only been exposed primarily to the Advantage system. His training was limited to that. As he developed more familiarity and comfort with that system, he would have advanced to IDIS, which is a federal database system. Also, he would have probably had some preliminary exposure to the Power Apps system. But again, we were intentionally pacing his introduction to the other systems because they are extremely demanding, and they do not talk to each other. So it does require a level of skill balancing the work and toggling between three systems.
and how much time is usually required for somebody to get up to speed and become proficient at the position, and how much was lacking from Mr. Brown's expertise when he came on? Like, hey, this is an insurmountable feat. We won't be able to. This person doesn't have the requisite skills when we selected them. That this was the wrong choice. What's the distinction between the two?
Again, there is no formal training platform, so it's hard for me to actually put a timeline on that. Again, he was a probationary employee with the expectation that he would continue to grow and show improved skills and ability to become independent over time. We were just not seeing that with the time that we had him with us. His demands on the working staff were becoming more frequent. He was not indicating a level of patience that I was encouraging him to have while others were working on completing their daily assignments. He was going around management to the director's office with his complaints. So these things were concerning to us, and an indication that as the workload increased and the requirement to handle multiple systems that were even more complex, that it would not be a good fit.
Thank you.
I do
That's
have
all
a question. Ms. Anderson, during this period from January to March, was there ever a meeting with Mr. Brown to kind of go over what he had done and that he was not meeting expectations or needed to improve, or what the status was, sort of like an interim update of how he was doing?
There was a 30-day performance evaluation using the form supplied by the Department of Human Services. There was an opportunity for him to review comments on that evaluation, and then a meeting after. to talk about his scorings and the comments on the evaluation.
And I may have missed that if that was in the package, but what was the 30-day evaluation?
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
The 30-day evaluation, did it mention that improvement was needed in some of these areas?
Yes. Cooperation with others. Dealing with customers.
Are there any other questions from the commission staff? Or from the commission, excuse me.
No, just to chair, just want to follow up on your question. So again, that was in the package, but did any time anyone sit down and say this has to be, you know, these are the issues in person?
Yes, there was a meeting to review the scoring on the evaluation on or around February 24th.
Mr. Brown, you have about a minute and a half left on your time. If you would like to respond or use that time to present any other information to the commission. Are you there, Mr. Brown?
Yes, there was no meeting on the 24th, and on the probationary employee performance evaluation, she put everything was satisfactory except cooperation with others. She said I was dissatisfied, but I never said I was dissatisfied. I was always positive and respectful to the departments, built relationships with the health department and other departments to get invoices and things that we needed to get the reimbursements paid out. So I had good relationship working with them, and you can find out and call them. And the contacts that I had, I sent them out letters as she wanted me to, letting them know that we need what we needed with the reports that they didn't include, the work that they did and all of that sort of thing, so we could complete the packet on that. And I wasn't criticizing training. I was just saying that I didn't get any peer help until 2 days before I was terminated. Deborah always had an excuse. And then I even told Joy, and then Joy said, I'll talk to her. And she kept saying, I'll talk to her. Deborah never responded. That's the only reason I copied AD Wackers, not to get Joy in trouble or anything like that, just to make him aware that Deborah's not helping me. She's not. She's going around helping everybody else. She's laughing. She's just joking around with people, walking from desk to desk laughing. And I'm sitting over there, shooting her emails saying, you're going to have time. Oh, well, maybe tomorrow and all of that kind of thing. So she never really explained anything to me. And Joy never told me I needed improvement on anything on this evaluation. Not at all. She said, only thing she said was cooperate. I was dissatisfied. I never said I was dissatisfied. I said I wasn't criticizing training from the finance department. I was addressing the fact that it was quick, 30 minutes, and not explained thoroughly, because she showed us one example of how to copy a previous transaction and then go by that. And I just said, oh, you're not going to show us. So I had to understand they want to do things fast. So the shortcuts were fine, but I just said there are a lot of nuances in it because you get messages, and she didn't tell us how to decipher the messages or anything. It just so happened that the one she did came out perfectly, and that was it. And then Dwayne trained me one time, helped me one time, and we had a meeting with Joy and talked about that. That's where she said I was complaining, just because I said it was a half an hour's worth of training on Advantage. And then I can't remember what Dwayne said, but there was no needs improvement on this. You didn't explain any of that you need improvement on any of your work. And I did meet the deadline on 3/7, the day I was terminated. I turned everything in. Sent it down to
Mr.
FRC
Brown,
and got approved. Yes.
we are at the 10-minute limit. Thank you for your information.
Thank you.
Is there a motion from a member of the commission?
Before we make a motion, did we have a copy of the 30-day evaluation in the packet? I'm looking for it. I don't think I saw it.
It wasn't in there.
Yeah, I didn't see it. That's why I asked the question.
If I could respond, it is the City of Cleveland's probationary employee performance evaluation form, which uses a 4-point scale to rate various attributes, 1 being unacceptable, 4 being outstanding. Mr. Brown received a score of 2 on the 2 areas that I mentioned earlier. 2 stands for needs improvement.
And remind me what those 2 areas of improvement were: communication with others and
Cooperation with others and dealing with customers.
Dealing with customers, I didn't even deal with customers. I dealt with people who were in other departments. I wouldn't consider them customers. They're coworkers, and I got 3s, which are satisfactory for all the things that she said I wasn't doing. And I really advise you to look at that, because the 2, I was not dissatisfied with the training. I just said I wasn't getting it. I mean, it wasn't like I'm mad or dissatisfied. I'm just saying she's not training me. That's all. I just needed a couple of days. I mean, and that's all it took. Because when she came down 3, 4, or 5, and 6, got everything done, and we met the deadline. That's what I was pushing for. They wanted it by Friday, and that's the day I got terminated. And she failed to mention that she gave me a satisfactory for quantity of work, the extent to which the employee accomplishes assigned work on a specified quantity within a specific time, quality of work, the extent to which employees' work is well executed, thorough, effective, and accurate, satisfactory, knowledge of the job, the extent to which the employee knows and demonstrates how and why to do all phases of assigned work given the employee's length of time in its current position, and the relationship with the supervisor. She even gave me a satisfactory with that. The manner in which.
Thank you, Mr. Brown, for that additional information. Are there any other questions from the commission members, or is there a motion?
Mr. Flickinger, is it possible to table this until I get to review the 30-day evaluation?
That's what I was about to ask the same.
Yes, I would defer to our legal person, but do we need to make a motion to defer?
Yes, this is Patty. Thank you. And my question is to Mr. Brownie, through the chair. Mr. Brown, you appear to be reading. You have a copy of that?
Yes, I do. I'm reading from
Okay,
the
and you did not provide, Mr. Brown, did you provide that with your original appeal paperwork to the commission?
No.
Okay, so Mr. Chair, you can most certainly table it, ask to have it sent immediately to the commission. It appears it was not transmitted with his appeal, and then you can set it at your either the next hearing or how long you think it might take you. Thank you. But yeah, absolutely, just do a motion to table with I would tell him that he has to submit it by X date to the commission staff. Thank you.
Did you have Joy submit it, because mine's all written over?
Sir, it's your appeal. I would have I thought you would have put it in with your paperwork. That's what you wanted the commission to do. It's up to the chair. how he
Well, I
wants
can
to.
send it, but I'm just saying it has highlights on it now because I want to highlight the things I want to talk about. But I can send it like it is. I mean, but hers would be a cleaner copy. That's all I'm saying.
Would the commission have a copy of it?
Yeah, I was gonna
Nick-
ask, why can't the
office.
commission?
Like, only if they would have submitted to it. So they did, if they didn't receive it, it was not put in with the paperwork given to you. Leanne would
Okay.
be able to answer that.
Only the termination letter was submitted to us. So that is what we submitted to the commission.
So may I make a motion that we defer this until further notice, no longer than 4 weeks, and that the commission submit the evaluation and the other material to the commission from,
The department? Thank you.
yes.
Second, Flickinger. All those in favor of the motion to
Lee, I,
table
Patton,
Lee,
aye.
I.
the motion to table agenda item number 7 and receive the evaluation from the commission staff is approved. And this will be, it is approved in my understanding as the motion was that this will be within 4 weeks, and then we will review this item on a future meeting. So, Mr. Brown, my understanding would be the staff will notify you when this agenda item is on a future meeting. Is that correct, Leanne?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so agenda item number 7 is tabled till a future meeting until we receive that. Mr. Brown, this is the item that you're on. You're more than welcome to stay, but if you'd like to leave, you certainly can do so. The rest of the agenda is just some administrative items related to future applicants and positions. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, thank you. I can leave now. Thank you very much for hearing me out.
Thank you.
Okay, have a
Moving
good day.
forward,
Thank you all.
Agenda item number 8, rejection of applicants 5-day no appeal for the classifications of accountant supervisor open, cemetery maintenance worker open, environmental compliance specialist 2 open, meter technician unit leader open, police traffic controller open, radio dispatcher WPC open, recreation instructor open.
Motion to approve, Patton.
Secondly,
All those in favor,
Lee, I.
Patton, aye.
Flickinger, aye. Agenda item number 8 is approved. Agenda item number 9, approval of the final eligible list for the classifications of accountant supervisor open, cemetery maintenance worker open, environmental compliance specialist 2 open, meter technician unit leader open, police traffic controller open, radio dispatcher WPC open, recreation instructor open.
Motion to approve, Lee.
Second, Patton.
All those in favor,
Lee, I.
Patton, aye.
Flickinger, aye. Agenda item number 9 is approved. Agenda item number 10, consideration of the following bulletin. Arborist 1 open.
Motion to approve, Patton.
Secondly,
All those in favor?
Lee, aye.
Patton, aye.
Flickinger, aye. Agenda item number 10 is approved. Seeing no other items on the agenda, the Civil Service Commission meeting for March 28, 2025 has concluded. Thank you.
Thank you.
This meeting has concluded. We will now conclude broadcast